What's good? It's your boy Zachary Carroll, aka Pastor Z. Welcome back to my channel where I help you apply the Bible to all of life's craziness. Today, I am reacting to someone that I've wanted to react to for a long time, respond to for a long time. The astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. Let's give it up for Neil deGrasse Tyson real quick. I love this guy. He is one of those teachers that you just love to go to their class because you see how much they love the material and they've spent time with the material and they explain things really easily in a way that you can digest and that sticks with you. So a huge fan of his work. I don't agree with his statements on God and belief, and there's some other things that I'm just like, being who you are, it does not follow that you believe that. I don't believe you believe that. Anyway, I don't know if that's going to come up in this video, but let's get into it.
So Chuck,
Yes.
we haven't talked about God in a while.
Oh, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's just that the history of civilization, anytime people had gods that they revered, they're in high places. The heavens have been associated
Right.
with deity
Correct.
from the beginning,
Right.
okay? And so my field, astrophysics, directly confronts many people's questions regarding our existence.
Right.
For that reason, if you are religious or prone to be religious,
Right.
it's
Which
easy.
I think everyone is.
But perhaps, yeah, we're
I
human.
think we're prone to
It's
be.
a human
It doesn't-
thing.
It's a human thing.
Given how prevalent it has been.
Exactly. Throughout our entire existence.
Exactly.
And some of the earliest recordings of communication involve exactly that.
Correct. The burial rituals of Neanderthal, for example.
Right.
Right. You can only have done that if you thought there was an afterlife
Right.
or a supernatural force.
Yes.
There's an urge, I think, to see that which is unknown in the universe. You hear of it. Big unknowns like dark matter and dark energy. Two hugely mysterious pieces of modern astrophysics that are unresolved.
Right.
And they're not little, they're big.
Okay.
You add them together, it's 95, 96% of what is driving this universe, and we have no clue what it is.
That's insane.
No
Yeah.
clue.
That makes me feel.
As an aside, I did a video about can you believe in science or can you have a scientific brain, scientifically geared mind and believe in God. I'll put the link right up here if you're interested. Everybody has this sense that there is a creator, that there is a God, and God's law and who God is written on our hearts. That's Romans 1. So that we know what's good and what's evil, and we know that there is a God. That would be my response to why humanity as a whole, for all time, have always been in a quest to find out and get closer to and understand more of the great creator. You see how magnificent God is by looking at what he created. You don't then go and worship what he created. You worship the creator. You don't worship the creation.
If you lean religious, you will see these mysteries as where God might reside.
Yes.
God is operating there.
Right.
And there's a long tradition of this, actually, but philosophers got wise to it, and they came up with a term for it. We've mentioned it on a couple of other of our explainers. God of the gaps.
God of the gaps.
The God of the gaps.
It's a very powerful concept.
And it's got the alliteration, so it
Yes.
kind of stuck
I
with
like
people. So it's the urge to declare that if there's something you don't understand about the universe, that God must be there with the puppet strings or with the forcing of what's going on.
I don't believe in God because of what I don't understand about the world. I believe in God because of what I do understand about the world and the known universe. There's what's called a teleological argument or a fine-tuning argument. all the evidence that we have about the known universe is so infinitesimally precise. It's so specific. It's if it were different in an extremely microscopic way, anything were different. Gravitational pull, the weather, the distance that we are from the sun, everything changes. Everything is most likely destroyed, or life is not able to be sustained. Imagine if the world was just like a little hotter, if the sun were a little closer to us, or if we were a little bit further away from the sun, we probably would freeze. Everything is in such a strong, delicate balance that it ultimately speaks to the idea of there being an intelligent mind behind it, because it is less reasonable, less rational to believe that all of this happened randomly, all of this precise measurements, as he would say, just coming together in beautiful harmony. The only way that could happen is if it were specifically designed or intentionally designed by someone that's outside of matter, space, and time.
I just want to make it clear to people that when they say God,
Right.
God has very different meanings to different people,
There's a tiered
even throughout
perception
history.
of God.
Even throughout history.
Wow,
Correct.
that's great.
That is no God at all. Okay. This is relative truth. That's where this is going. So your God is God, and my God is God, and their God is God, and over there their God is God, and everybody's God. And enjoy your God. Enjoy it. Yeah. Listen, I don't have your God, but you have your God, and enjoy your God and have fun. No, I don't want a God. I want the God. I want to know who the God is. I don't want a truth. I want the truth. I'm so tired of relative truth. I'm so tired of truth being shifting on if it's a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. What's the truth of the day? The truth of the day is blase, blase. Okay. Then the truth of tomorrow is the exact opposite of yesterday, but that's okay because truth is a spectrum. Truth is a revolving door. It's like, no, there is one truth. There's one God. There has to be. You can't say that every God is a God, because then that means none of them are God. That's like saying from that movie Incredibles, Syndrome. It says, when everybody's special, nobody's special. God is Allah. God is Yahweh. God is Buddha. God is Spinoza's God. There's no way that all of those gods can be the same. Why? Well, because the one true God came down here, put on human flesh, and said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. The real God stood up and said, hey, all these other gods are wrong. And when he did that, logically, it's a beautiful thing, because logically now every God can't be right. Every God can't be true, because there's no way Yahweh is true and also Buddha. One of them's got to be wrong, because they're saying two different things.
So a common God manifesting today in people's beliefs is a God that cares about them
Right.
and their health, wealth, and well-being,
Right.
and their prayers, and the like. Okay.
Right.
So there is a point of view that says this universe is so amazing. There had to be a God, an intelligence behind it.
The intelligent design people.
So in that case, they're not looking at a rock and saying there's intelligence behind it.
Right.
They're looking at something more complicated than they can understand.
Right.
And saying, there's the intelligence.
Right.
All right. They look.
Again, this is not about what I don't understand. This is about what I do understand. And yeah, it could be a rock, because, I mean, when you say it like that, sure, It doesn't sound very spectacular, but there's a lot of magnificence in rocks. The type of rock, diamonds, minerals, gemstones, all that stuff. All that stuff is beautiful. The fact that a piece of carbon in a lump of coal can be pressurized for millions of years and form a beautiful, pristine, crystal clear, one of the hardest substances on earth, diamond, is amazing. And I don't believe that God exists because of what I don't understand about that. I believe that God exists because of what I do. The fact that that's amazing.
The operations of a cell.
Yes.
All that going on in something that's microscopic.
Exactly.
They're just amazed by it. They're in awe. Of it. And so surely God is at work around here.
Yeah.
Now, so one of them that went around for a while, and I found it very unconvincing, it was the laws of physics are exactly the way they need to be for us to be alive.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, okay. If they were slightly different, then we wouldn't be here. Like if the charge on the electron or the value of the gravitational constant or the speed of light, things like that. And they all configure to make matter and energy come together such that we can be alive in that universe.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, there's some people that even on a macro level, they're like, we live in the Goldilocks zone of these planets, and the other planets are dead as far as we're concerned.
As far as we know. That's
as
right.
far as we know.
So with all of these parameters in just the right way, in just the right place, people who are lean religious refer to it as the fine-tuning argument.
Interesting. Okay.
Everything's fine-tuned to produce life, human life.
Right.
Now, so
He's a God of precision that has placed things in this.
Let's see if they actually have a response to the fine-tuning argument, because I have yet to hear a good counter-argument as to why. And he said he finds it unconvincing, but hopefully he says why.
I don't argue the fact that we have constants of nature, that if they were slightly different, we wouldn't be here. I don't have an argument against that.
I mean, that's...
But my argument, however, is if whoever created the universe, if there's such an entity that did, why make a universe where we didn't show up for 13.8 billion years?
Right.
Not only that, Earth was not born until the universe was already 8-9 billion years old.
Right.
And then life begins, single-celled organisms. Is this the God of that life? Okay. But that was 3.8 billion years ago. Humans in our current form last, 100,000 years or so, go to a million years, which is a drop in the bucket relative to the 4 billion.
For the 4 billion.
Billion.
Yeah. Right.
Millions to billions?
Right.
Okay. It seems like if you really wanted to make a universe that favored us, we would have shown up much earlier. Much earlier. Right. I'm just thinking.
Right.
Just if you want
the argument.
I mean, I have an issue with that on multiple levels. I don't see why it's an issue that it took billions of years for us to be born and all that. I don't see a problem with that. I mean, maybe we can ask the Lord why he decided to make us how he did, and within his divine wisdom, there is a great answer, I'm sure. I don't think it matters at all. So what? If it was 1 year versus 13.8 billion years, we're still here. He still created us. And we honestly don't know if he didn't create any form of life anywhere else in the universe, or if there isn't another universe where there's also living beings that have a similar way back to him. There could be. He mentioned earlier the possibility of a multiverse. There really could be. I don't think we have evidence for that because God didn't restrict his creative power. I mean, the first verse in the Bible, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, period. That's Genesis 1:1. And there's no time frame on that. There's no further explanation of that. we're told what we need to know. What we need to know is that God created the earth. And I think that's a much more important piece of information than why did it take all this time? Like, Lord, why did you create all the heavens and the earth before creating man? Editing Zach here. Apologies for interruption, but I don't know why I didn't say this, but another reason why it took a while for mankind to be created is because we are the culmination of God's creation. We are the climax of his creative power. We are his greatest creation. We didn't show up in the beginning because you don't bring out the big guns until the end of the movie. You don't bring out the main fight scene until you're almost done. It shows how much God loves us and that he needed to create all of these other things so that we could exist. Because how do you have humans the way we are now without the universe exactly the way it is? You can't. So there's no way it would be possible for us to have showed up earlier than we did. All of the billions of years and all of the tectonic shifting and the climate changes. There's an amazing documentary on Netflix about dinosaurs. It came out in 2026 recently. And it does a great job of showcasing how many changes the world went through in different eras, like the Jurassic era, there's a whole bunch of eras. I'm not a paleontologist, but all that needed to happen. And I'm so glad that God let all that happen billions and billions and billions of years before the first human walked on this earth. So I, again, don't see this as an issue. But back to the video. I don't know. Like, I guess I don't see the point. Like, I don't understand why that's an issue, rather than just having an issue to have an issue. If you want to have an issue with anything, you can have an issue with something, because you don't want to admit that what they're saying is right because of what that would mean to your entire worldview. So, you know what? I'm going to poke some type of hole in it. I'm going to reach for the stars and poke some type of hole in this, because if I have to really wrestle with this truth, it's going to be too much, and I'm not going to be able to handle it. And he even said that he doesn't have an argument against the fine-tuning art. He doesn't have all that the way he described it. He doesn't even have anything to say about it, which means in a formal debate, then that point would win.
Because God exists outside of time and space, that what we see as 13.8 billion years is not measured by God.
Yeah. However, my issue there is not how long that is, but how long that is relative to us. That's all. That could be short to God,
right?
But that means we're even shorter. Okay. So it does not
I see what you're saying.
It does not look like the universe cared much about us for most of its existence.
Right.
That's my only point there.
I got you. Okay.
So the multiverse.
He's painting it like we were sitting in a dark room, ready to be called up to stage for our moment. And God is somehow cruel or evil or bad because he told us to wait in the back for 13.8 billion years, and we're just sitting there starving and bored out of our mind. Like we didn't exist. We didn't exist. We weren't here. We weren't around for the 13.8 billion years. So guess what? When you're not around for that amount of time, it goes by like that.
What makes that less appealing, if you're going to put God in the equation, is generally those gods have certain powers ascribed to them.
Well, they have to.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right? They're all powerful,
Right.
all knowing,
Right.
all good.
Right.
All right? These are common terms invoked. All I can say is that when I look at the universe, an asteroid strikes, rendering, 66 million years ago, 75% of the species of life on Earth went extinct.
That's because they were atheists.
Those atheist dinosaurs.
Exactly.
So what am I saying? I'm just saying the universe doesn't look like anyone is in charge of anything.
The randomness of the universe.
The randomness of 100 years ago.
Random.
100 years ago, before our telescopes were good enough
Right.
to reveal asteroid strikes and stellar collisions and galactic collisions and all this, it was, the beauty and the majesty of this ordered universe.
Right.
I have books that talk about the ordered universe. And then you look closer, and it does not look like what people wanted it to be, to match their expectations of the God they're ascribing its handiwork to be.
So it starts out as looking up like, look at this beautiful, ordered universe. And then you look closer and you're like, they shooting at us.
That's right. It's a shooting gallery.
I don't know. That just goes against everything that I believe he stands for. If there were no order, then what is he studying? If there were no order, then how can science know anything? How can science come to any conclusion at all if there weren't some semblance of order? Science doesn't just come up with these concepts and these ideas. They do experiments and they have hypotheses that is a guess of what happens in real life, and then they perform experiments and then they reperform them and repeat them, and then other people who are not affiliated with the first people do the same thing, and they all have credible sources, and then they get reviewed by their peers to confirm that this is a scientific fact. You can only do that with order. You can only repeat an experiment. You can only repeat something if there's some type of order to it. If there's no order, if it was chaos, if things that happened didn't continue to happen or didn't repeatedly happen, then you would never have science. You wouldn't have any scientific truths. I don't see how he comes to the conclusion that there's no order in the world.
Earth plows through several hundred tons of meteors a day in the leftovers of the solar system.
Yes.
Okay?
Right.
Plus, on Earth, if I drop you butt naked in a random spot on Earth,
You're probably going to die.
you're going to die within a half hour.
Yeah.
Drop you in the ocean,
You're gonna die.
Two-thirds of Earth and three-quarters is ocean.
Right.
Shark is going to
Drop
take
you-
a bite out of you. You dead.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
If I drop you in the Arctic, there's not even land there.
Right.
You're just hors d'oeuvres for
a polar bear.
Polar bears.
Yep.
So we say, well, Earth is a haven for life. After you've built cities and heat and air conditioning and clothing, and this, then we say, oh, look how beautiful Earth is.
Right.
Why do you define all of the technological advances that we've made as being a part of the greater design of the world? Like it's like the moment that a Neanderthal or early human used a tool to get their food or to defend themselves or to eventually get out of the tree, whatever it was, that's the birth of technology. And that's how our brains started to form and to grow, because we kept using it and we kept discovering new ways to do things easier. And that's basically how things like the skyscraper and the camera and the microphone and the headphones and the air conditioner, all that didn't just come out of nowhere. That came because we used our brain, our God-given brain, to put these concepts and these objects together to good use. And now I see nothing but order in that. I see nothing but magnificence. I see nothing but the glory of the Lord in that. And I think if you don't see that, you're choosing not to see that, which is what Romans 1 says. They people refuse to worship the Creator, but rather created things.
So remain agnostic on this. I'm happy to listen to and look at information, evidence, data that might support an almighty, all-powerful being.
Right.
But the distinction is, if you want to say there's a being responsible for the universe, is that the same being who tells you how to pray, who to pray to, what day to pray on, what food to eat, what food to not eat, and who to sleep with?
And why can't...
I wonder if he has ever used his magnificent mind to actually dive into the Bible, like read the Bible for understanding. There's a difference between reading the Bible for understanding and then just looking at the words.
There's no uniformity in it is kind of a problem.
Well, it's not a problem for the people who are certain that their God is the one true God.
Well, that's the,
right?
the problem. That is the problem.
But because everybody is sure that their God is the one. Not everybody, but many people who are deeply religious in their tradition are. Okay.
Listen, I used to be one of them. I'm not. I mean,
yeah.
I have a great deal of compassion for people who are devout, and because
so do I.
Yeah. I know you do. We've
never
had this conversation.
It's never been a
offline,
thing.
So,
I just want to openly have a conversation.
First of all, let me just say this, and I'm going to say this in your defense, in front of everybody. This is a conversation you and I have had offline.
Yeah.
People don't think that you have compassion for those who believe. They think that you're hostile to it, and what they don't know is that nothing could be further from the truth. And I've asked you point blank, is it possible that you could ever believe in God? And your answer was yes, and then you gave me the criteria for doing so. So it wasn't all that deep.
Right.
It really wasn't all that deep. I was like, and guess what? And all I could say was, oh.
yeah. No, I gave one example. Like, okay, there's a elevator plane crashes have ended in 100% dead people.
Right.
Okay, the distance that the plane falls out of the sky. Okay, there's an elevation above which no one has ever survived. Okay. Imagine a plane where it crashes above that level and only the Christians survive and everybody else is dead. That things that make you go, only the Muslims survive.
Right.
Only the Zoroastrians survive.
Exactly.
So I could easily come up with a set of, that you want to test it several times. Once would not be sufficient.
No.
As in any scientific experiment. But I can come up with, it's not hard to do that.
Yeah.
And so my only point is, an emergent sense of spirituality in people, because religions have been losing their adherents,
people are not following religion as much.
but they'll still say that they're spiritual.
Right.
And these are people who feel that there's some force out there.
Something greater than themselves.
Greater than themselves. But it doesn't come with all of the rules and regulations and baggage, dare I call it that comes with so many religions.
Right.
So I'm simply saying that the universe, if you want to say there's a God involved, ask yourself, is it because there's something you don't yet know how to explain?
Right.
Like the person writhing on the floor, frothing at the mouth. So you go to your priest in a town where church is in walking distance.
Get an exorcism.
And they come, and they just have enough time to get the holy water, perform the exorcism, and the person comes out of it.
And that's called a coincidence, because that's when this.
Like you can't say you're not hostile to God, and then you're clearly making a joke out of things. Yeah, listen. The history of the church has not been always great. We've done some great things. We've done some not so great things as far as a church. And in fact, a lot of people who just claim Christian or just claim the name of Christ, that doesn't mean that they are with Christ. Jesus himself said that in Matthew 7:21. On that day, many will call to me, Lord, Lord. And they will say, haven't we cast out demons? Haven't we performed miracles in your name? And he said, depart from me, I never knew you. So there is an authenticity. And I think that is what Neil deGrasse Tyson needs to understand or needs to try to find, is the truth of the matter. All religions aren't made equal. All beliefs aren't true at the same time. They can't be. People may believe it, but people can also be wrong. Like, I'm not a Christian because I was raised Christian. I'm a Christian because it's true. I've done research. I've investigated. I've prayed. The Lord has been after me since before I was born. And I've investigated, and it's shown to be true every single time. Jesus actually did raise from the dead. He was a real person. His life and his ministry and his miracles were well attested to by eyewitnesses, and so is his resurrection. And the best rationale, the best explanation we have for why all these things are here is because is that Jesus got up out of that grave, because Jesus is God. And God sent Jesus to save us and bring us back to him and show us how this is all done. Let me know what you think of Neil deGrasse Tyson and his beliefs, a lack thereof in God. I would love to dialogue with you down in the comments. That's all I got for you. My name is Zachary Kell, aka Pastor Z. Y'all be cool.